I know nobody's in here yet, but you know, I just always started out that way. Okay, cool. Let me make a really quick post, and then I will move on. We'll get this thing opened up, talk about some 1993 events and whatnot. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Create a post. What am I doing? Oh, I gotta get the link first. Alright. Share. Copy link. I know today is a little bit weird. I had intended on doing it yesterday, but I could not eat yesterday, so didn't think a live stream where I'm supposed to eat would have been a good idea. Okay, I think I got it now. I do not have a picture. Image text. It's just going to be a text. Okay. Maybe I can. Huh. Well, of course it's not right. I'm just going to have to use a random MRE picture. Live. Okay. Looks like... I think I got it. Live right now if you'd like to stop in the chat. The link. And post it. Okay. Good deal. Now I gotta get that other thing pulled back up on my screen. Okay. Sorry that I was so delayed there. All right. So I did do a little research on this is the Frankfurter's beef. Now, this was described on the MRE menus as smoky Franks, smoky Frankfurters. And before, from 1981 to 1987, I do believe they were just labeled as, well, not on the bag, but in the menus, because the menus are always actually, well, not always, but some of the menus are actually different than what they write on the bag, just the wording of it. And I think they were just Frankfurters. Oh, no, it was Franks and Beans. It was Frankfurters and Beans from 1980 to 1987. And I've had those before, and they're completely different. There's still the Four Fingers of Death. Those are, in my opinion, the actual Four Fingers of Death, because those things, just to me, are not good. But they're more like a Vienna sausage than they are a hot dog. There's no snap to them. They're extremely soft. And I think the ones that I had were 83 or probably 83. I don't know. I've had them twice from the early menus, and both times they were extremely soft. Now, they took them away in 1988. So from 88, 89, 90, 91, In 92, there were no Four Fingers of Death. They came back in 1993, and they ran from 1993 all the way to 2000, which that'd be what, an 8-year run? 93, 2000, 8 years, and then 81 to 80 or 80 to 87. That would be another 8 years, right? Let's see, 80. Yeah, okay. So 16 years that these things were in MREs. I did not see them anytime after the year 2000. So, unless I missed it, I think that's when these ended. So this would have been the first new generation of these Four Fingers of Death, because 1993 is the year that they brought them back, and it's also the year that the menus started describing them as smoky Frankfurters versus Frankfurters with beans. So the other ones, like I said, they came in the pack. They might have been just a little bit shorter, smaller. If my memory serves me, they were a lot lighter in color. The ones from 93 up that I've had been more like a darker red, um, like a, I don't know. I guess it would be like well grilled, not with grill marks, but just cooked. Anyway, that is that's the little bit of info that I've pulled up and done on this particular menu. Now, I think it did change from menu 6 to menu 15 at some point. It would have had to have been after 97, because up until 1995, let's see, 95 was the last year for 12 menus. 96, 18, no, was it 18 or 16? I can't remember. Anyway, and then it goes up to 20 for 1997, and then 1998 was the first year for 24 menus, which is what we still have today. Now, we do have like other variations, like the kosher halals, uh, the Passover meals, which that's just for Passover. What else is there? Huh. We've got the Moors, but I wouldn't count that. That's not really a full meal. And First Strikes, they started in 2008, I believe. I think that was the first year. I've been looking for a first year First Strike ration for like 6 years now, and I have never been able to find one. Early First Strike rations like that are not easy to find. I don't know if they didn't produce very many of them, or they all got ate up because it was something new and interesting. So people, snapped them up, took them home, ate them, opened them up. I'm not really sure why they're so difficult to find, but as of today, I changed my criteria from a first year to looking for a first generation, which I think is like a 3-year run that they didn't do any changes. And I still have not been able to find one of those. Well, I take that back. I did find one, but it was in bad shape, and it ended up selling for like $60. And that was like 3 years ago. So that tells you anything. All right, well, I have a half a smoke here. Rough lately, James. You got doctor's appointments? Oh, you got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Um, so 1993, interesting year. I kind of remember it. 1993, I'd have been 11 years old. I mean, I remember it. I remember walking through my grade school. Um, let's see what grade I would have been in. I think third grade, because I graduated when I was 17. So, uh, 11. No, I'd have been like sixth grade, right? Huh. Anyway, I do remember Bill Clinton. I remember, and I do remember that I was in grade school because I remember them putting up, like, they had these like cartoonish depictions of each president along, like, they used them like a border in I think it was my homeroom class, pretty sure it was, and they lined the room with presidents, and they all had their number on them, and which Clinton was what, 42, 42? I think he was 42. Anyway, so Clinton took office in 93. Then 93 was also the year that the World Trade Center got bombed. That was like February, I think. Something like that. January or February. It was early in the year, and there was like 6 people that passed away, but it injured like 1,000 people. I remember when it happened, but I don't remember a whole lot of, well, I guess you wouldn't have seen very many images of it because you didn't have the internet. You didn't have all that information and all those pictures that you can just reference anytime you want now. That's a big difference in the day and age that we live in now versus back then. Back then, we were fed every bit of information we got from like a few sources. I think at that point I still only had no, we had cable probably. When I was 11, we probably had cable by then. Probably only for about a year or two at that point. Because I can remember being like 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. Maybe I was a little younger than that. Yeah, maybe I was like 6 when MTV started. Which I think it might have started in 87. But when I first seen it, because me and my mom were like, when I was real little and I was still living with my mom, we were bouncing around from like house to house, and this lady that we were staying with, uh, I, I want to say her name was Mildred. I'm pretty sure that was her name. Anyway, she worked for the cable company, and she would like, we stayed with her for a little bit, and she would bring like 1980, so before I was even born. So, well, to me it's it was the beginning to me because I didn't have cable for probably the first like 9 or 10 years of my life. We had 3, 8, 11, 13, and 33, and one of those was a double. PBS was like 2 channels. It was running at the same time, but that was the time period. If the president had to come on and say something, that's all you could watch. I've been thinking a lot lately about how different things are now versus when I grew up. What kids are growing up with now, what my kids grew up with. My oldest son grew up like kind of without the technology in the first part of his life, and then by the time he was he was like 6 or 7, like, which we had game systems, but I mean, I had a Nintendo when I was 5. I think is when I got my first Nintendo. I was in kindergarten. Well, maybe before I went to kindergarten, so I might have been 4. Um, but I can remember. No, I definitely was 5. I got it while I was in kindergarten because I can remember after I got it, like that's all I could think about was coming home and playing Mario. uh, it was a big deal, huge deal. And then I must have been like, it was probably my 6th birthday. Uh, so it would have been 1988. It might have been 1989. It might have been my 7th birthday, but I can remember like extremely badly wanting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and I had never been so disappointed in my life after we got it and I put it in. It was like, oh my god, this sucks. And I know like uh, my mom and grandma like pitched in on it because we were living with my grandma at that point, and like that was my only gift, which was fine. Like that's all I wanted. That was the only thing I wanted, and they got it for me. And then I felt horrible because it was horrible. Like there was no way I was going to be able to log hours into playing this game like I had with the Mario. So um, yeah, it horrible letdown on that. You know how they do with commercials, man. They made it look way cooler than what it actually was. So I mean, it's just thinking back at the differences. Even though I had that game system and I did log some hours into that thing, I'm not going to act like I didn't because I loved it. But my mom would sit down and play with me sometimes, and my grandma would play with me all the time. She played that Nintendo, the original Nintendo. We never got a different one. She played that up till she passed away in 2007. And after she passed away, she had a home health nurse that my mom let move into her newly built house that she had lived in for like maybe less than 2 years. And she moved in there. And when she moved out of there, she took our Nintendo with her. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what it'd be worth. Probably for like $500 or something with all the games we had and everything. Probably more than that. That's not the point. The point was the memories. I still have my Super Nintendo, my original Super Nintendo with like a couple, maybe a few games. I've hooked it up. Probably in the last couple years, I hooked it up and played it a little bit. It still functions just fine. Like those things are super reliable. What the hell?
Basketball.
Huh.
The basketball boys have the gym. The team.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Did you find out why your mom?
Tabby's in the ER apparently.
Okay. Um. Anyway, I've just been thinking a lot about the differences between the way my kids grew up. But what sticks out in my mind so much was how I wanted to stay outside. Like that was my whole existence was to, and it's not that I was made to go outside. I was sometimes when the weather wasn't the greatest or something like that, and I wanted to just go inside and play video games. But I would, I would really just constantly. I'd be outside from the time the sun came up to the time it went down. Like that was all kids that I knew. That's what we done. Like we'd go out and play. I did. I was on my own a good bit, but I used to ride my bicycle around the little town that I lived in, and I mastered riding wheelies. That was my thing, and I built a little track over. I lived right next to the grade school, the same exact way I brought my kids up. My kids, I lived. There's one house in between me and the grade school, and when I was growing up, uh, when I went to that grade school, there was one house in between our house and the grade school. So it's kind of weird that it worked out like that because it wasn't planned and I didn't try for that to happen. It just happened. Um, but like I built a little track over there because they had this great big open field with nothing in it, and then there was like playground basketball courts over next to the school, Leon Elementary in West Virginia in Mason County. It's, I mean, it was tiny. It was a tiny. Our town, like if you had a long fart, you could fart and you'd still be farting on the other side. You'd be all the way through the town. You know what I mean? Like you'd drive through it that quick. Uh, I don't know. I was comfortable there, and then we started bouncing around after that, and I never felt right until I came back here. Um, anyway, I just my kids are so much different than I was growing up, and I don't think I haven't been able to bridge that gap of their mindset versus how my mindset was. Like people my age, not all, but a lot of people my age, kind of, we all grew up similar ways. A lot of us, and everything I'm describing will strike a key with a lot of people. But everything I've said about him, well, my kids like not wanting to go outside and just growing up different, that'll strike a chord with a lot of people of how their kids have grown up and stuff. I do feel like I think our generation might have been a little bit overprotective of our kids because I had so much freedom as, I mean, a 5 year old, 4 or 5 year old. I can remember like riding my four wheeler outside, nobody within sight. I was 4 or 5 years old. Like, uh, I would have never even remotely thought about letting either one of my kids do something like that. Just it, yeah, it's. I didn't trust them because they were, they're 4 or 5 years old, but I also didn't want them to get hurt, and always felt like if I was there supervising, I could stop them from doing something stupid. So being a little overprotective and sheltering them too much, I feel like I did give my kids enough leash that they could do enough to where they weren't so sheltered. Luckily, I think living so close to the grade school, I was able to, and it's all fenced in, so I could be like, y'all go up to the school and play basketball or whatever. They didn't want to go a lot, so my kids wanted to stay in the house like all the time. If they could have stayed in the house all the time, they probably would have. I mean, it was a rarity that they'd want to go outside. But I just lit that, and that made me think of something whenever I was looking up and like seeing what was going on in 1993. That was around the time and the era when they were starting to ban like cigarette advertising or tobacco advertising, cigarette advertising, not tobacco, but cigarette advertising, and the MTA in New York City banned any cigarette advertisements off of subways, buses, and stuff. Because if you've ever been in New York or on a subway, probably I've never really thought about it. Other ones I didn't pay no attention. Some of them might not, but New York definitely there are paid ads on the train on the cars, and also on the walls down in. I don't know that they really do it on the walls. They do, but it's not. There's not much. But once you get on the train, like there's the maps, and then there's advertisements, and a lot of it sometimes is like outreach programs for drug abuse or domestic violence or something like that, and then there will be ads just like on your phone, except you can't you can't scroll away from them. You're stuck looking at them. Um, I'm not even going to attempt to say uh, your name again because I forget how to pronounce it every week, and you have to tell me again. Uh, you told me last time, and I cannot remember. Anyway, let's get this MRE opened up. I'm gonna put the cigarette out and let's see what's in there. Had a couple other facts that I wrote down. What else was interesting? Oh, here's an interesting one that kind of ties into just what I do. Frito Lay got sued for using a Tom Waits song. I don't know what song it was that they used. It must have been in a TV commercial or maybe in a radio ad. But they had to pay him $2.5 million for using his song. Like $2.5 million. Crazy. I seen a couple other lawsuits that were just like the numbers were crazy. And to me, that seems kind of frivolous. Look, if you're a musician, now I get it when you sign with record companies and stuff like that. They're the ones controlling that type of stuff. They're just vultures. Like they're horrible in most instances for people's careers. 90% of people that sign to a record, you're never going to hear of them, you know. Probably even more than that, by 95, 98%. It's a lot. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, the fact that it seems frivolous because if you got a big company like Frito-Lay using your song in a TV commercial, right? That's free advertising for you and your song. Like that just to me, it doesn't make sense. That's like people getting strikes for music playing in the background on YouTube. Drives me crazy. It makes no sense. Like say a Taylor Swift song came on my television in the background. YouTube would probably, I don't know if they give you a strike for that, but they definitely, absolutely steal your video. So I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift is one that I've heard that's bad about it. But they'll take every bit of revenue that you get for that video and pay it to that record company because they claim it. And the algorithms now and the AI, like it picks up on it. Used to be you could run 3 seconds of any song you wanted. 3 seconds. 3 seconds doesn't sound like much, but that's enough to get an idea of what song you're playing or whatever. And they couldn't do anything at all about it. Now, if they hear it, like they can get you for it. So it's crazy. It's not fair. I feel like it's all ridiculous. That's all free advertisement for the artist. Like it just any independent artist lets people use their music 9 times out of 10 because they're smart enough to see and understand that hey, that's free advertising. Whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Like you're being talked about, so it doesn't matter. Get it out there. All right, I just thought that Frito-Lay thing, it just turned into that frivolous conversation. So, all right. So these brown bags are kind of hard to see unless you get the lighting just right, like that. Like you can definitely see that really well. Meal ready to eat, menu number 6. Beef Frankfurters. This is Right Away Foods Corporation, McAllen, Texas. 78501. All right. Let's get this bad boy opened up and see what we're working with. The only thing, I did not look to see what was in here today, but I do, like I've had this meal, but it's been, I'd say a couple years, maybe a year. I don't know how long. It's been a while. The only thing that I remember for sure that comes in these newer ones, like 93 up, was potato sticks. Now, they might have took that out like 90, I don't know, 97, 98, 99, somewhere along in there. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they were in there the whole time. But I do remember like those little shoestring potato stick things being in it. So that should be in here. And I feel like if they're going to give you those potato string things, if they would have hooked you up with one of those freeze-dried ketchups, like, oh, that would have been perfect. I don't know. Maybe there's a ketchup in here. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to give someone Frankfurters, you should also give them ketchup and mustard. Now, this is the last 1993 out of the case that I had. And I've had really good luck with these. That doesn't mean that something could be off in this one. So inside, definitely looks really good. Absolutely, like, almost no odor at all. It just smells a little bit like fresh plastic. A lot of times these older MREs like this, when this plastic degrades, it starts to put off an odor. And that odor is very distinctive. I have come to really enjoy that odor. I've actually enjoyed it ever since the first time I smelled it. But it's grown on me more and more over the years, the smell that these bags make whenever they start to decay and start to break down. And, like, in between this stage and whenever they start crumbling. Like, they'll dry out really, really, really bad, and you'll just touch it like that, and your finger will go through the bag. Like, it's crazy. But that's when they lose their smell. When they get crumbly like that, like, they don't smell anymore. All right, let's see what's in here. I'm not going to pull it all out. Let's go one at a time. Let's go with the obvious here. We got 3.8 ounces of beef frankfurters. Ingredients: it's just beef, water, salt flavorings, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythrobate. Is that an E or an F? Okay. And sodium nitrate. Packed by Shelf Stable Foods Incorporated, Evansville, Indiana. That looks brand new. I mean, it's a little deformed from being packed in there, but you can have brand new MREs in the box look like that. There we go. Beef frankfurters. And there's our flameless ration heater that actually looks really good. Made by True Tech Inc., Riverhead, New York. 11901. That zip code. These things are super long, by the way. Super long. I don't understand why they were so long, but there you go. I mean, a lot of that comes off of there. Tear it. You're tearing 2 inches off of it. Great big old flameless ration heater. First year for the flameless ration heater being included in the bag. First year. We got here crackers. Good old, faithful, reliable crackers. Too bad they couldn't put hot dog buns in an MRE. Rafco Freeze Dried Incorporated, MRE Division, McAllen, Texas. 311. Wow, look at that. Those are good numbers. Those are good numbers to see. 113th day of 1993. 3113. And then I don't know what the 13 on the end is for, but you got a backwards 13 and you got 1313. I don't know. I think it's cool to see numbers like that. Those things are packed extremely well. So those should still be just fine. Oh, we got a nice looking bottle of Tabasco. It's a little dark, but really nice little bottle. Nobody has touched that in the past, 30 years? That's the first time that bottle of Tabasco has been touched in 30 years. We have a cocoa beverage powder, Type 1 fortified. Giannis Brothers Packaging Company. Giannis Brothers are still kicking. They're still around making MRE items. We all know Rafco Freeze Dried. That official name is gone. What's this? Oh, no way. Sweet. What? Strawberries. You got to be kidding me. I've only gotten strawberries one other time, and it was punctured. It was no good. Strawberries is a very, very rare item to find in an MRE. Looky there. Oregon freeze dried. So this is a Mountain House item right here. 30-year-old Mountain House freeze dried strawberries. And you guys might get mad at me, but I might have to keep that one for the collection. And we got a pretty separated thing of peanut butter. Okay, I just seen someone say jackpot in there, and it reminded me of this video that I saw yesterday or day before. Might have been a TikTok video, but I think it was on YouTube. This guy was in a casino, sitting at penny slots, and he had just won $1.25 million. And the guy, his buddy, pulls the camera up and goes, "What did you do?" And the guy goes, he's like, "I just won $1.25 million or $1.2 million." Like, it was like nothing happened. It just, I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine winning $1.25 million and then just being super chill about it. I think he was kind of worried about the casino not honoring the win, which I've heard them doing. All right, I gotta knead this up because it's this part up here. It's nice and liquidy. That's all the oil that has separated, and then like there's a shape to it down here that goes like this. That is solid. Good Lord. That's going to take a minute to get kneaded up properly. This is the best way to get your peanut butter kneaded up, but look how quick that's delaminate. Wow. In an instant. Might be where I think these ones were frozen for possibly the first 5 years of their existence. So from 1993 to possibly 1998, they were in a cold storage facility ran by the military because the case has stamps on it. Like when they checked up on it one time, and then it also said where it was at, cold storage. Wow. Can't believe how delaminated that's became so quickly, because it looked brand new before I started doing that. I think I seen Art and Nina was in here too, which is super cool. I don't know what they got going on over there at FortniteMRE.com, but I have been paying attention to Saltycroccollectibles has been selling some stuff on eBay. He's selling off some of his ration items. Keep an eye on what he's got going on there, because something really good might pop up on there. I don't know what he's got, but anyway, definitely should keep an eye on that. Okay, we have just a loose in the bag, not in an accessory packet or anything, sugar-free diet soft drink mix made on the 105th day. It's a fruit punch flavored, artificially sweetened, makes 8 ounces. And it's got stains on the back from something. Just kind of weird. Doesn't have no smell to it, but what even could that be? Huh. Serving size per packet, 1 packet. 4 calories. And then they break down 0 fat, blah, blah, blah. Vitamin C, 10%. Contains less than 2% of the USRDA of protein. Ingredients: citric acid. Anybody know what that might be? Tryptopotassium or something? Trip something. Citrate and an aspartame. Tricalcium phosphate, maltodextrin, modified food starch, corn syrup, solids, blah, blah, blah. You got red number 40, sorbic acid, butylated. So, I don't know. It's all sciencey words out of my vocabulary. Brooklyn, New York, Trans Packers Service Corporation. Trans Packers. I seen Beavis and Butthead's coming back. They're supposed to have a new episode coming out next month. Old Mike Judge. Okay, so here's our accessory packet. We got a Taster's Choice up in there. That's a good looking accessory packet. Nice and clean. Really nice. There's your partially biodegradable MRE spoon. What's this? Oh, sweet! Look at that. Solid milk chocolate. And it's not bloomed. It does have something on it. It's been broken, but it's got something sticky on it. What in the world? Huh. It doesn't have no smell to it. I don't know what that is. Anyways, we got a Mars bar. We got 1 ounce of solid milk chocolate. Of course, it's going to be milk chocolate. Made by the M&M and Mars division of the Mars Incorporated, Hackettstown, New Jersey. I see riboflavin. Good old riboflavin. All right, that's got like 2 flaps to it. It's weird. Huh. Then you got this one over here. There's all the ingredients. Nutritional information per serving. Serving size 1 bar. Calories 150 calories in this 1 ounce bar. 2 grams of protein, 17 grams of carbohydrates, 8 grams of fat, sodium 20 milligrams. And then there you got everything else broke down. Riboflavin 4, calcium 4. I don't know what that means. Contains less than 2% of the US RDA of these nutrients. I don't know. I wonder why that's sticky, man. What could that be from? Could it be from this, maybe? You think this leaked out? Could those be pinholes right there? I don't think so. I mean, that would have turned super red, I would think. Super chat. Show me the super chat. Hey, the King is live. Any ketchup, Smokey? Nation MRE finds. Yeah, probably not. Actually, no, I can tell you not. Because, well, yeah, no. I see coffee, creamer, matches. But rations, some really faded out gum, wet nap, sugar. That's it. That's the whole accessory packet. So no freeze dried ketchup in there. It would have been nice though. That would have been an awesome thing. Thank you for the super chat, Nation MRE. And last but not least, we have what I mentioned before we started opening this thing is the potato sticks made by Right Away Foods. So these were made in-house. Right Away. What wasn't made in-house? These are still Right Away, really. I mean, Rafco. Just kind of, man, that's some old packaging or something. Some old printed packaging. I don't know. I don't think they were still around in '93. And then the Mountain House. Where is it? That's Giannis Brothers. Shelf Stable Foods. I don't know. This is a pretty good meal, I gotta say. Like, overall, you got your potato sticks. You have crackers with your beef. This is what makes it a little tough because you can just cut it in little pieces and eat it like hors d'oeuvres or something. You know what I mean? And then what are you going to do with your peanut butter? You're going to have to use that on crackers that you get later in a different meal or something. Maybe you get jelly later and you save this peanut butter and have a peanut butter and jelly crackers. That's probably what I'd do. You got a cocoa beverage powder, freeze-dried strawberries of all things. You got your spoon. And overall, man, like this is a pretty well put together meal. Like hot dogs with French fries, kind of. I just wish there was ketchup. Like ketchup would really set this off, you know, put it over the top. All right, so I guess I need to start off by getting these bad boys out of here. 82nd day, early. This might have been right around the time. Actually, this probably would have been a little right after. This would have been March. I think the World Trade Center thing happened in January or February, I think. Not 100% sure on that. Last time I had these, I think they were glued in the box. These should not be glued. Yeah, they're not. But look at that. These are short ones. Last time I had these, they were bun length, you know. These are not. These ain't even normal size, hot dog size. That's literally like finger length. All right, I'm going to go heat these up. 80 seconds, same as the box. Yep. All right, I'll be right back. It's the only thing I got to heat up. Yeah. All right. Put these two things over here. Stick them behind me here. I used to save all my MRE packaging like that, but I do not do that anymore. Throw it away. I use it for trash bags, just like they used to in the field. Which, I mean, you wouldn't. Most of the time, you wouldn't sit down and eat all the food out of a meal. Well, really, you'd probably separate it out before you even took off, but you'd take a minute to sit down and strip the crap out that you didn't want or need. Alright, something on my tray. Huh. I know I scrubbed this thing last week. Or, well, yeah, it would have been a little over a week ago. Anyway, I plan on being back Saturday. My plan is to be back Saturday. I think probably going to go for like a Norwegian or maybe one of those older Canadians. I got to get on getting some more of those older Canadians from somebody. Potato sticks. Set it up there. See if I change my mind about it. So we got 2 drinks. I think I'm not really in the mood for coffee, so I think cocoa beverage powder and a janky fruit punch will do me just fine. Oh, the Rodney King riots in 1993. I totally forgot about that. That was a big deal, man. I remember that. And a lot of you folks, I don't know if you remember it, or some of you might be too young to remember it, but you've seen some of that footage in the past couple of years whenever those other peaceful protests were going on. Well, anyway. Ooh. Ooh. That was just about a broken cup. All right. Yeah, this got some air to it. Yeah. A little chunky. Scrape it off the sides. I guess I could put a little bit of hot water in there because If not, it might not properly dissolve. And that might be what the stickiness is. So it's taken on some weird, like, purple, brown colors. I guess I can lick that off my finger. Holy, ugh. I hate the fake sweeteners, man. Aspartame, ugh. Ugh. All wrong. Aspartame is like, to me, is like, have you ever brushed your teeth and then had orange juice or eaten an orange or something along those lines? Like that really weird flavor that you get of it, just, it's not right, you know? That's what aspartame reminds me of. It gives me, it's got a really weird aftertaste, a really weird mouthfeel. I just am fully not a fan. Oh, man. Okay. A little hot water. I think I'm going to go with the little tiny bit of hot water here. I'll say thanks again to Nation for the super chat there. It's much appreciated, my friend. I think you said you're doing videos, right? What is that? Okay, it dissolved. It looked like something white. It also looks like it's got dirt in it. It's just, this thing, this drink is, like, why not go ahead and put it in the accessory packet? I don't understand why it was such an afterthought, because it literally had to be, these were already packed up and ready. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw in the packet of diet soft drink fruit punch sugar-free mix. All right, let's give it some water. I think it's probably quite dissolved. Could you imagine drinking that? That little shot of disgustingness. I mean, there's no benefit to that whatsoever. Like, it's not going to give you sugar energy. It's not going to give you, I mean, it's just no good flavor. Like, nothing. Oh, I hear many. There we go. That should just about do it. I mean, it looks appealing to look at. Nice and red. Extremely red. I just put a new board down too, so I need to be a little more careful. Try not to get water and stuff on it. All right, I gotta go get my cat. Be right back. I hear you, Minnie. Come on, Minnie. Hurry. Hurry, Minnie. Good girl. Oh, come on, man. Hurry up. Go. Go or I'm leaving you out, buddy. Great guy. Come on. Jeez. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm never in here by this window, but she'll get up to the window and like stick her claws in the screen and flick it so that I hear her, and that's how she gets me to come and let her in. She can hear my voice, though, I'm sure. But it is, like, super windy outside, so maybe she couldn't hear me. But it's super windy outside, and it's really loud outside right now. It was real loud earlier. All right, next. What are we at? Oh, yeah. Should I get out the Bob Ross mug? I was saying I thought I had a different Bob Ross mug, and I do. It's right here. This is the one that I picked up at Christmas time, I think. Got a handprint on the side of it. There we go. The Bob Father. Man, if he only knew how famous he got after he passed. I mean, you know, I know that's kind of a typical thing for artists to get popular after they have moved on to the other side, but you know, old Bob was, I feel like he was a little bit of an exception. Alright, I have no clue how that was in that box. What's that flap right there for? Okay, so that's how it goes, I think. There it is. Oh, I'll put it in there upside down. Oops. Oh well. That can't be how it was in there. Man, I'll fix it later. I'm not using it right now anyway, because I'm using the Tim Tam mug that my buddy Dan. Let me message old Dan real quick, because if he's awake, which he might not be, and I know he's got to work tomorrow, I'm sure. Alright. Dan's been messaged. Dan the man. For cyanide cookies. If I ever go to Australia, I'm going to sleep on Dan's couch for a night. Just to say I did it. He invited me. It's not like I invited myself, but he's like, if you ever come over here, you got a place to stay. I'm like, all right, man. He's gonna be upset whenever I show up on his front door and take him up on that offer. All right, that looks like perfection. Let me get a little bit of that in my hand here and get some of that. I can still, like that aspartame, I can still taste it. There we go. 30-year-old hot cocoa powder. Huh. Maybe I should try. I'm going to try a little more on the outside of my hand here, because I'm not sure about that. Huh. Okay. This one, it's got a little, not much. It's got a little bit of sourness to it, and it's got a little bit of just a little bit of a tinge of something that shouldn't be there. That, like, beginning stages of getting cheesy. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that with something that has, well, in particular, old milk, old dried milk type stuff. And this should probably, let's see what's in here. Mixed contents, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to say what's in here. No ingredients list, right? No. All right, never mind. Never mind. Thought I was going to be able to figure it out. Sherlock Holmes it. But it did not happen. Oh, super chat with. Well, let me click on it. For the 5 fingers of death, hospital bill. Love all you guys. Be safe. History savior. All right. No foreshadowing here now. Thank you for the super chat, dude. You guys, I know I say this every time I see History Savior pop up, but go check out his channel, guys. I like what he does over there, so I think you might too. It's well worth your time and effort to go over there and just go ahead and subscribe to his channel right now. Just go ahead and do that. Just do it. Just go ahead. Just do it. I'll wait on you. You go do that. I'll wait right here. Give you like 10 seconds. You can go over there and do that and be right back. Click on his name. Oh, it's good to see History Savior up in here. Nope, I'm not going to open a new spoon. I got plenty of them right here already opened. Plenty. Probably got, golly, I bet you I got at least 100 spoons here, maybe more. All of, I think most, well, yeah, I'd say most of these are probably from live streams. Because I think when I first started doing these live streams, I think these cups that I have filled up with spoons were pretty much empty. Here, I'll give you an idea. Show you. It's like a Valentine's Day arrangement of ration spoons. These are all from Rations of some kind or another. Whether it be Polish, German, no German, Polish, Kazakhstan, what else? Lithuania, you know, all that good stuff. Then I got the one here that LC sent, and I've also got one here from foreignmre.com. It's got foreignmre.com on it somewhere. I haven't had this one out in a while. Had that one out recently. Same thing pretty much, except this one right here is titanium, I do believe. A little bit different shapes and length. Oh, and this one's got bottle opener on it. And that hole right there, I can't remember what that's for. Anyway, it's got a hole in it. What a crazy. Oh, there's a Russian spoon. Tell you what I don't have. I don't have one of those daft forks that are like this. Spoon on one end, fork on the other, with a little knife, serrated knife on the fork side. Daft, what is it? No, it's not Indonesian. Oh, what are those things? Wow, I can't even remember right now. I thought I had another cool eating tool right here too. This is one of my favorite little spoons though, right here. This little clear guy. This is from 1951 or 52, something like that. In-flight survival meal, or in-flight, just an in-flight meal is what it is. Yeah, I like that spoon. What is that right there? Maybe that's what I was thinking of. What is that? Compostable cutlery. Oh no, that's not what this is, but this is cool. These are actually really nice. These compostable cutlery made from plants. It's a fork and a knife and a napkin. But I got this at this like grain bowl place that Matt, my showrunner for the TV show, he turned me on to the place. And whenever I went and got food to bring home the last time I was in New York, coming home from the TV show right before the pandemic started, 2 days before the pandemic shut New York City down, I brought some of that food home, and they gave me cutlery, and I used one set, and I still have, like, I cleaned it, and I still have it in there, I think. But I just thought that was super cool, man. I haven't seen this anywhere else. I don't know why. It must be expensive, I'm going to assume. World centric. Even the wrapper, it says, is compostable. 25% of the profits are donated. Carbon offset 100%. 100% compostable. We exist for good. Be the change. World centric for a better world. With the way things are going right now, those woke as everything is, I'm surprised we don't see more of that stuff right there, to be honest. You know. All right, let's get the we'll get the crackers opened up. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to go throw these back in that water real quick. I'll be right back. I'm just going to heat them right back up a little bit. They've cooled off enough to where I want them to be hot. Hey, Minnie. All right. Which I don't think those are going to soak up as much packaging flavor as, like, I don't know, say spaghetti or something like that. I have high hopes that the skin of the hot dog or the Frank will keep out some of that metallic packaging flavor. Because usually I don't leave them in there, but, 3-4 minutes tops, just enough to heat it up. That's all. You don't have to cook it. All right, let's see if we get a noise here. Get a hiss. There's a good one. That was a good one. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, yeah. Crackers. Oh, the crackers. So crackery. Tan on one side and white on the other. Crackers. Minnie. 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 I see you. All right. Tater sticks. Let's give them a slice right about there. So I just felt air come out of there. It's air from 1993. I just felt on my hand. I didn't get to whiff it, but this is a good old fresh pack desiccant pack. Do not eat, please. DNE. Let's get a little condiment bowl or whatever you call these things. Ramekins. That's not what that is, but I think that's what the little condiment bowls are typically called. I was trying to think of that word the other day. What are those things called again? I couldn't think of it. Nice little presentation of tater sticks. Now, they have a smell. They smell like old MRE food and potatoes. They have a quite a distinct scent, I must say. I'm not going to say it's unpleasant, but I'm also not going to tell you that it's pleasant either. It's not appetizing. I'm not going to tell you that. I am going to try. Yeah, I'll try one first. That's the biggest one I could see. Little teeny tiny dried out McDonald's French fries. All right, here we go. Let's give it a try. Down the hatch. Nice crunch. One of those really ain't enough to get a gauge on it, but what I can tell you, the crunch is perfect. The flavor, I can't tell you much about it other than it's slightly salty and tastes like a potato chip a little bit. So let's get a little bigger bite. Great crunch. Yeah. That is all right. Those taste fine, actually. No, no weird flavor or nothing. They smell a little weird, but it's not translating into the flavor. Cool. They're greasy just like McDonald's fries, too. What are you doing, kitty? You're all right, buddy. Just had to clean up my mess, that's all. You're not hurt, are you? You hurt? Something wrong with your leg, buddy? Hey, Ethan, you might want to take care of Stella. No. All right. They are definitely hot now. Let's get prepared a little better here. You know, this is a brand that I thought was all over the country. Heiner's. And it's not. This is not a nationwide brand. This is more of a local thing. But man, they got some of the best bread. Even though it's definitely been shelf stabilized to the fullest. I gotta say that Heiner's is some of the best bread that you can get outside of like fresh bread with no preservatives in it that's going to go bad in like a day, 2 days maybe. Be weird in 2.5 days. I went to Heiner's Bakery when I was in kindergarten. We went on a field trip to the Heiner's Bakery in Charleston, I think. Charleston, West Virginia. And when we were in there, they pulled a hot loaf of bread that had just been sliced by the machine right off the line and buttered it for us and gave everybody a piping hot piece of bread that had just been buttered. And I don't even know, like, it was heaven. It was so light and fluffy and just melt in your mouth. It just, oh, so good. So good. I'm not a big, like, I just eat bread stuff. I do end up eating, like, pizza. So I got to get away from bread. Bread's my enemy. It makes me fat. All right. Where's my hot dog at? All right, here we go. Let's get these things open. And tear knot's right there, I think. Nope. Huh. Oh, of course it's up here. Now that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you open it right there and you're going to be wearing all the hot dog juice that comes with these things. The hot dog water. What was that hot dog water? There was hot dog water. It was in a TV show or a movie. Hot dog water. Can't remember what that was from. All right, let's take a look at these things. Oh, yeah. 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 All right, instead of taking them all out, I'm just going to take 2 out. That way the other 2 stay in this aluminum and stay hot. I'm just going to go in with my fingers and grab 2. They are hot, hot, hot. Ow! Oh, yeah, those 2 are stuck together. Hot, 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 hot. Fold that over. Man, they smell really good, too. I wish you guys had smeller vision. Smeller vision. Pretty much look like hot dogs. I don't know if you've seen that steam coming off of them or not. That's how hot they are. Steaming hot. Steaming hot buns. Okay, look at the cocoa looking all weird over here. In person, it looks way weirder than it does on camera. Alright, give it another stir, maybe. Yep. Just licking that off the spoon, I can tell you it's going to taste weird. Which is kind of weird because I'm sure I've had other cocoa beverage powders out of these 93s that were fine. Alright. This one's kind of weird on the end right here. It's like, it's black. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like, it's black in person. It looks black. And it's got some spots in it. I don't know if that's pepper or what is going on with that. But that package has got some juice in it. You can see, like, might want to get some of that onto my hot dog in a minute. Oh, they're full of juice too. See how dark that is on the end? Way darker in person than on camera. Look how juicy. Watch this. Does that look like a commercial or what? Huh? Alright. Here we go. Down the hatch with a 30-year-old hot dog. Mmm. Wow. Seriously. You would never, I mean, you wouldn't even have a clue that this was old in any way. It's salty. It's juicy. It's got a nice chew to it. It's smoky. Mmm. Super beefy too. I mean, one's definitely got to go on this bun. So, not quite. It's over half, but definitely not a full dog. I'll give it a try with the bread here. Oh man. I don't know what else I can say about it. Like, I mean, the only negative to me is it's too salty. If I didn't have issues with salt, I would love that though. Try a little bit of these with that bite still in my mouth. in the mix. I'm gonna have to add some directly on the bun here. Yeah, these are really good. I mean, the flavor that you get from like a Lay's potato chip is the aftertaste to these. Yep. Put some more on there. All right. There's the like backyard barbecue bite right there. Give it a try. Well, crap. I mean, really, I think they're better taking a bite of them after you've taken a bite versus putting them on it. But I'm lucky enough to have these buns, which really make these awesome. I mean, that's just as good as like an Oscar Mayer hot dog that you could go to the store and buy. But you couldn't cook it like that. Maybe you could. Like an air fryer, maybe. I don't know. Onions in butter and garlic. Then slather on any type of sausage. Onions in butter and garlic. Somebody's wanting to have some kicking breath right there. I'll tell you what. If I could buy these, I'd buy these. All day long. Eat my mustache. Hate it when that happens. Like I said, I wish I could buy these at a store. But that ain't going to happen. Why can't we recreate something like this? I feel like guys today would love this. Because you know, Canada's got a friggin' hamburger bun. They could put hot dog buns in with these. 2 of them per bun. I mean, have a little dog hanging off each end, but man, I said, guys, folks in the military today, you offered this menu up to them today, and they would love it. I mean, obviously you gotta like hot dogs to love it, but I feel like a lot of people in America will eat a hot dog, you know? especially if it's a decent one. And these are decent. That's going on there. Almost a perfect fit. Look at that. Put it down there in that juice over there. Yeah, I could easily eat all 4 of those on 2 buns and be happy. And full. But you got to bring the buns in, you know. We got to start doing something about our bread. Natick needs to listen to us. There's enough of us that's said it and complained. You know, we probably eat more of these MREs than a lot of guys that are enlisted, you know. I'm not claiming that that's a good thing or anything like that. Just saying. Well, 90s aspartame. Guess that's what I'm going to wash down the Frankfurter. Yeah, I reckon you can get up there, Brownie. All right. I really don't want to drink this. They got red 40 causes cancer. Ugh. It's got a horribly weird aftertaste. The fruit punch flavor itself is pretty standard as far as that goes. It's just yucky. Yeah, go on. Oh, Minnie. She's driving me crazy. She's a talker. Alright. Need to try these crackers on its own. Oh, it's going to break this way. Well, maybe. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nice little well-toasted cracker. I like to see that. I wish these had the external salt, but it's mixed into the batter, so into the dough, I should say. As long as Minnie's being quiet, I won't go run her off, but... All right, 30-year-old peanut butter from Thermopack. I think Thermopac's the same ones that made the flameless ration heater, aren't they? All right, it's quite runny, actually. I mean, it's not super. Yeah, it's pretty runny. Let's just test it here. Not super runny, as you can see, but it is pretty thin on in the way of what I'm used to peanut butter wise. Or I guess you could classify it as being extremely smooth peanut butter. It's definitely got a look to it, doesn't it? All right, 30-year-old peanut butter. Hold up. That's what I didn't want to happen. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'm wanting to say, yeah, give me a second before I give you a reading on this, because it's kind of, I don't know, messing with my taste buds or my head. Something ain't right here. Well, I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't know. It seems a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what it is, because flavor-wise, I thought it was weird. I thought something was wrong in the flavor, but I don't know, actually. I'm going for a big bite. I'm just going to, yeah, all of this. That's fine. Or is it? I don't know. Something weird's going on with that peanut butter. It's got a weird quality to it. It's got a weird, like a slightly, and I do mean it's just slightly off. I don't understand, unless the packaging was just, I don't know. It's got a weird bitterness coming through. Huh. All right, cocoa beverage powder. Let's see if this will cure what's ailing me right now. It should still be nice and hot because I use super hot water. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, that's borderline too. This thing is like right on the tipping point. Some of these things, like, and it has to be something to do with the packaging making the peanut butter taste weird, because peanut butter doesn't go bad. Like, it just doesn't. Not unless, not real peanut butter, good peanut butter like that is, unless the packaging's been compromised in some way or another. Something going on that maybe it degraded inside and it's flavoring the peanut butter. Something's going on with it, though. It just tastes weird. I still want to drink this, even though I'm pretty certain it's going to give me a stomach ache if I drink it all. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely on the sour side. Something's off about that. There ain't no doubt about it. But it's like, it's not so off that I want to stop drinking it. I still don't mind to drink it. It's just the flavor's a little bit weird. And that's a shame, too. Because when these right here are good, they're good. Like, they're amazing. I haven't found a cocoa beverage powder to come even close to what a well-preserved, like late 80s up into the early 2000s cocoa beverage powders like this one, the big thick stack of cocoa beverage powder. Yeah, it's a shame, because this had potential to really make my night, but instead it's just like, if I drink it, I feel like I'm going to be in the bathroom. Yeah, it's certainly got a bitterness to it. It's also got that like vintage MRE flavor going on with it, which is just a degradation and everything breaking down, and packaging and everything all combining together into one mass of edible brick, like barely edible brick of food. Why do I keep drinking it? I don't really understand why I keep drinking it, honestly. It just, I guess I'm thirsty. And I don't want to drink that other crap. That other stuff is, ugh. got? What are we working with here? Okay. Last time I did a regular camel. This time, I don't think I did one of these last time. I'm going to go for one of the Fat Boys camel wides. These things right here. They'll put hair on your chest. That's what people used to say. Something was potent. My Uncle Red would tell me stuff like that all the time. Get you a bite of that chili. It'll put some hair on your chest. Now, if you'd see my chest, you can't see my chest. All you can see is hair. I'm way too freaking hairy. Like, I don't like it. I used to think it was cool when I was younger to, like, have because I had facial hair when I was like, I had a full goatee, beard, whatever, when I was like 12 or 13. Definitely 100% by the time I was 13, probably 12. There was one kid, his name was Brandon. I think Brandon Denny was his name. Anyway, he had like this super thick beard when he was like 11. And I was jealous of that beard. It was a good beard, really good. Like the fullest, super, like real strong lines. He didn't shave them in; they just grew in like super perfect. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I bet he ended up super hairy. All right, I haven't had one of these in a while. It's been a good while, actually. Been probably at least a few months. I'm using a Canadian match to light an American cigarette. That might be sacrilegious. Right around the same era. These are from. These could have been, well, they were, but a pack of these could have still been laying around on the table when this was made. These are either 89 or 91. And these taste like a cigarette from the 50s. I don't know why. These Camels that I have, like, they taste like a fine, like really well-aged cigarette that's got like some years on it. And you can't force that to happen, is the thing, because I've tried. You can't make that flavor. I don't know exactly what causes it to happen and how it ages exactly, but there's only one way to get that flavor, and it's naturally. Like, it comes naturally. What about the White House? Missed the flavored Camels. Oh, yeah, my buddy. Well, he was the pilot on my boat. You're talking about the crushes. The ones that had the little ball in the filter that you'd squeeze, and it would turn it menthol. Or, yeah, there was all, I think that, well, there was other flavors. Spearmint, probably. I don't know. I'd say it was minty. I don't know. I didn't smoke them. He did, though. He was all about the novelty cigarettes. Which some people, like, that was their go-to thing. Their go-to brand was those Camel Crushes, and I never seen the lore behind it, because most of the time the people that I would see smoke them wouldn't even crush the thing in it. They just smoked the cigarette. Every once in a while they might crush one in there. That guy that I worked with, he would crush his, I'd say, more often than most. Like, he again, he was the novelty side of it. I think he enjoyed that more than anything. Okay. Justin says they looked for a Bigfoot and found him in Blackshear, Georgia. That's how big and hairy I am. Yeah, I got like, looks like I got a shirt on. If I don't know if you can see it, but cut it down below my shirt line so it doesn't look like well, I mean, it just looks ridiculous when it's sticking up out of there. You know, I don't have live chat on. There we go. It's probably going to change everything. NAFO agent says, I didn't know I was supposed to crush the filter. Yeah, they had a little ball, like, right here in the filter. Not quite at the very front, but, like, just a little bit down in them. And you just squeezed them kind of hard, from what I remember. And they would release something in there. I'm not exactly sure. We took one apart one time and looked at the little ball in there that you crushed and pop it, and it changed the whole flavor of the cigarette. Like it was like a whole different cigarette. Pretty weird, honestly. Very novelty based. I feel like they were around for a minute. I'm kind of surprised that they went away. I have a feeling it was probably either a cost thing or there were some weird things happening with the filter, with it getting wet up so close to where the heat was at. There's factors that I can't decide. Here, let's look it up. Let's find out what they have to say. No. Let's see. Okay. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has banned sales of 4 cigarette brands from R.J. Reynolds because they did not meet the agency's safety review requirements. I was just taking a guess that it was something weird to do with that. So it sounds like Camel Crush was among them, it says. Okay, let's see what the specifics are. Has previously banned a number of tobacco, including a dozen in 2015. However, anti-tobacco activists said Tuesday's action was the first to target a major cigarette brand. Camel Crush Bold, under FDA rules. Okay, products are essentially the same as older products in terms of health risks. The FDA said that the 4 brands from R.J. Reynolds failed to show that they don't raise new safety concerns. How are you supposed to prove that? Okay. All we have to conclude is that the different characteristics of these products raised different issues of public health, said the FDA's tobacco director, Mitch Zeller, on a call with reporters. In our mind, these changed features raised questions for us. The brands were Camel Crush Bold, Pall Mall Deep Set Recessed Filter. Never seen that. Pall Mall Deep Set Recessed Filter Menthol, and Vantage Tech 13. This was all back in, it looks like 2015. So that would be about right. I got hurt in 2016, and he was definitely smoking those in 2015 at some point. 14, 15, somewhere in there. Anyway, interesting. I never really even noticed or thought about the fact that Camel Crushes weren't still on the shelf, and I had never heard of them coming out and banning an entire brand like that. Well, I mean, its own variation inside the brand. Snus used to have mint and a few other good ones. Now it's like you can have salt and tobacco flavor. So they changed the formula up. That's just like what they did to cigarettes here in the United States with. I don't know if they've done that everywhere, but I know they've done it here with the fire safe. I know I've beat that topic to death with you guys, but they ruined cigarettes with that fire safe uh, tobacco paper. It was just awful. They ruined Marlboros, 100%. I can't even smoke them no more. Like I've tried numerous times. I mean, I couldn't even count how many times I've tried to go back to Marlboros, and it just they are not palatable. Which I'm trying to quit anyway. So, aren't we all? All smokers are trying to quit. Just about. Not everyone, but just about. I could pick some up for your friend Smitty, but I don't like your friend. CT said. What about those Blackstone Cherry cigar? Oh, that's a big hard no for me, LC. uh, here's the deal. When it comes to cigars, for me, if I'm going to smoke a cigar of any type, it's going to be a cigar. Like it's not going to be uh like a black and mild skinny thing with a tip on it, or those cigarillos, I think they're called. Elandil indulges in those, and here's my phobia with those, or whatever. My grandma smoked those things, and when those things first came out, they made them super cheap. Like let's say back then, a pack of cigarettes was $2.50 a pack. It's probably less, two or $2.50, something like that. I'm just gonna use those numbers. Say a pack of cigarettes was $2. Well, you could get a pack of those cigarillo things for like 80 cents, or maybe just if they were running a sale, you might get 4 packs for $2 or something. Seriously. And my grandma was a chain smoker. Like I don't really know anybody else that smoked like she did. She smoked like a freight train. I seen her on different occasions, not all the time, but I on a few occasions, I'd see her light a cigarette with the one that she was finishing. She would use it to light the next one, or she'd have two. it, I don't. It just thinking back at how weird that is. Anyway, that was my grandma, which I called her Gran. I don't know if I have a picture handy or not. Not one that I can get to. Got one of my grandpa, but I don't have one of her. Well, I mean I do, but it's over there and I can't get to it. So anyway, um, Tim Tam, weird cheers. Mm, went under my tongue. Whatever has happened to this, where it's like starts to get that cheesiness to it, just a little bit. It seems like it kind of neutralizes the cocoa or the chocolate flavor, and it just tastes weird, like muted, neutral ish, not completely neutral or completely muted, but it's definitely on its way there. I would say another year, this would have been extremely bland. It's already pretty bland with that weird like slight bitterness with the slight cheesiness to it. I'll have to report back, see if I get a stomach ache from this or not. It's like I said, it's not so bad that I won't drink it, but it's definitely bad enough that it's questionable. All right, so I've got this Mars bar. You guys think I should open this or give it away? Last time I seen one of these on eBay, it was like 20 bucks, 15, 20 bucks. This one's not perfect. It does have a little, like, well, it's a little piece of broken chocolate over there, I guess. It broke in the middle, see? The strawberries, yeah, I already made up my mind on the strawberries. They're going to be a display item. And the next time I get strawberries, if that happens, which I'm sure it will one of these days, I'll eat them. But the last ones I got, they were out of 81 to 85, or 80 to 85. Really 81 to 85, but 80. There are 80s out there. It was in that first generation packaging, and it didn't have a hole in it that I could tell. I just think that they sealed it with air in it. And, it must have been a little humid or something like that because it ruined them. They were just a brown, floppy mess of what used to be freeze-dried strawberries. Now, I can just imagine what these would taste like. I mean, I really do have that in my mind of what that would taste like. But what they do when they make these blocks is they'll make a syrup to go along with it to bind it all together when it freeze dries into its poured into a mold. And that's what intrigues me about the strawberries, because peaches, mixed fruit, pineapples, like, we know what all that stuff's about. Like, we've all, well, most of us has had that at multiple points throughout our life. We've had the mixed fruit, we've had pineapples, and like, those syrups are common. You don't see strawberries in a cup. You know what I mean? Because I guess strawberries probably wouldn't keep that way. Even if you put a bunch of sugar in there, I still, like, strawberries would turn on you. Whereas peaches, when they cut them up, I really don't understand how the peaches hold on like that, being shelf stable. The pineapple, I can kind of get that one with the acidity and the sugar. Yeah. But the peaches don't make a whole lot of sense to me, because a peach, you peel a peach and set it down just like a strawberry or whatever. You open it up, it's going to sit there and it'll start to turn brown, and it'll start to soften also, like ripen extra quickly. So I don't really know what it is that they put. And canned peaches and little cupped peaches never taste like a real peach, in my opinion. They taste artificial. Even though I know it's real fruit that's been chopped up or whatever, I think they harvest them when they're not quite ripe enough, so they're not really sweet. And then they add the sweeteners in there, the sugar, and it doesn't incorporate into one and make it sweet like it would be if it would gotten ripe on its own the way it was supposed to. But the strawberries, I used to work for this lady. Her name was Wanda, Fred and Wanda. Her husband's name was Fred, and they sold strawberries. Her brother owned a strawberry farm down in Plant City, Florida, and I think I worked for him for two different strawberry seasons, which I think they last probably like 2.5 months, something like that, maybe 3 months. But I really enjoyed working for them because we would go to Huntington, West Virginia. We would go to Charleston, and then sometimes we'd make deliveries to schools, because schools would sell, like, fundraisers sell. They would use her strawberries as the fundraiser things. And you could buy a flat or half a flat or a quarter of a flat, I think was the way that they, I don't think you could buy individual baskets. But anyways, I have never yet to this day ever found strawberries like the ones that she sold. They were extremely vine ripened, I guess you would say. Like which I got strawberries from her all the time. I'd get strawberries for free and bring them home or whatever. She'd give me some. When they paid me good too. Like this was after I lost my job, and I think it must have been like around 2008 probably when I done this. But yeah, they paid me pretty good. I felt like they paid me $100 a day, and it didn't matter if I worked. Like some days we'd be sold out in less than 4 hours, and it's a lot of that's ride time too. But then there were other days where we'd work 10 hours, and I'd be the one in the back of the truck moving the strawberries and handing them out to people. But all the radio stations around here would announce that she was coming to town, and she had like different places where she set up, and we'd set up, and people like would come out of a hospital, and there'd be, I don't know, 40 people come out and spend. How much was a flat? I think a flat was 22. Half a flat was 13. I think 22 and 13. I think that's how it went. 22 for a whole flat, 13 for half a flat, which you couldn't touch anything like that now for those kind of prices. But yeah, we would we'd be sold out usually every day, and I'd work 3 or 4 days a week doing that, depending on how many loads they had come up. And so a long box truck, I'd say it was probably in, I'd say the not including the cab, just the trailer part of it on the inside. I'm going to guess it was like 18 or 20 feet. Let's see. Yeah, probably 18, 20 feet, something like that roughly. And it'd be stacked with pallets all the way from the back to the front. So I can't remember how many pallets were on, or how many flats were on a pallet, but I figured it up one day, and it was like, if we sold all the strawberries in there, it was like 30 grand. Because we had to go to the bank like 3 times a day, which they ain't been doing this in years now, so I don't care to say this. But the amount of money that we were hauling around with us, to me, was crazy. Like, it was ridiculous. We'd have like huge stacks of money. And you'd never think that. You'd never think that about a strawberry truck. People selling strawberries. But they did really well with that. And they don't. I think that was all they done was work strawberry season, and that was it. Easy money. Mickey put out a video a month or two ago though. Mickey Joe. I ain't seen Mickey Joe in a minute. I ain't talked to him in a little bit. Raw seafood in an MRE. What? What are we talking about? Must not be going back far enough. I don't know. I wish I had a better description of this, because it tastes like something else. It reminds me of something else, but I can't put my finger on what it is. What time is it? Strawberries. Okay. About time to wrap it up here in just a second. Well, I'm just going to finish it. I might regret this later. It's a very good chance that I will. It's bugging me. There's something that this tastes like a lot. It tastes a lot like something else, and I can't figure it out. Ooh, it's getting a lot thicker at the bottom, and it's like chalky. Ooh. It's like it didn't dissolve. Look at this. See how thick it's getting? I don't understand, because I've been swirling it around the whole time. Nation MRE Fine says, put the peanut butter on the Mars bar. The peanut butter is already weird. Thank you for the super chat, Nation. I've actually got to send a package to somebody, and I think I'm just going to throw this in there. Because, to be honest, these things are way, way cooler like this than they are to eat, because they suck. It's just super waxy, very dull. I mean, it's a candy bar, right? It's a chocolate bar. If you were super hungry, homesick, you'd be glad to have this. Don't get me wrong. And it's 30 years old, and it ain't changed. Like, the bar is pretty much exactly the way it was when they put it into that bag 30 years ago. So there's that aspect of it. It's very similar to what the Hershey's tropical bars are, or the Hershey's desert bar. I have one of each that are in really good shape. One, Saltycroccollectibles. Thanks to him, I have a really nice desert bar. Somebody else sent me one too, and then I bought like a, I think I bought 4 of them on eBay one time, 3 or 4. But anyway, I don't know if they use the exact same form, like to pour the chocolate in to form the chocolate bars, or what would that be called? Like not a casting, but what would you put? What would that be called? Anyway, they're the exact same size. On the top, they're textured with like these little indentations, like almost like bubbles. But they're both exactly the same as far as the way they feel, their size, their shape. Everything is identical. So I wonder if this Mars bar and the desert bar aren't one and the same almost. Although this is made by the Mars company, and the other one's made by, well, M&M and Mars, and the other one's made by Hershey. And how about that? I didn't even see that. Look at this. Let me flip the camera around real quick. Look at that. How weird is that? This is this was out of 1993. It's got a 1991 Mars bar in it. Huh. Like I said, it's got this weird double fold in the packaging, too. It's like right there. But if I pull it over there, it just wants to go right back into that weird fold. So, question. Did you guys hear about Justin Rowland getting fired from Adult Swim and Rick and Morty and they're still going to make the show without him. He's the voice of Rick and Morty. He writes the whole dialogue for those shows. Like, I don't understand how they think that they're going to be able to continue without him. And they've done this over, it's allegations. He hasn't been convicted of anything, or I'm trying to tread lightly here, because what if he is? What if he was guilty? But according to his lawyers and stuff, they're like, that I will not be convicted of this. Like, when the evidence is finally out, like, you'll see, like, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. So the fact that he's doing that and not backtracking, the approach would be different, I feel like, if they thought he was guilty in the least bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. 100 grands, you're right. They're not common anymore, because I was actually looking for one at Dollar General, because somehow this came up. I was talking about 100 grand bars, and I don't remember why exactly that was, but I was talking on the channel here about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I see those all the time. I get them. And then I went to go try to find one and buy one. Nope, could not find one. Okay, I can't do this. It has it's gotten, I can't do it. And my stomach is already, yep, it's not bad or anything, but I can already feel it. It's not going to kill me, but I think I'm probably going to have some cramps, some stomach cramps for a little bit. All right. It's closing time, James. It's closing time. Time for you to go. I think I mentioned that before too. I used to work at Dairy Queen when I was a little kid. And I don't remember exactly what era that was. What years would that have been? Let's see, 80, that'd be 90. Not long after this MRE was made, like 94 to 96. Right in that area. Let's see, 12 put me at 94. 13 put me at 95. So 94, 95, somewhere along in there. Maybe 96. That closing time song was just everywhere. The radio played it into the ground. But every night because I would close the Dairy Queen restaurant that I worked in. It was my first like official tax-paying job. I worked construction with my stepdad before that, but they paid me under the table. So anyway, that was my first tax-paying job, official job where you pay the government. And every night when we were closing, like, that song would come on. That's closing time. And from the time we'd start, time we'd finish, we'd hear that song twice. They'd play it twice while we were closing. Like, we'd go around and put all the chairs up on the tables, mop the floor one last time. I'd clean up the kitchen, the deep fryer, the grill, the hot dog steamer thing. Dairy Queen's weird, man. Their hot dogs turn green. Always, and they'd serve them that way. Like, if it was still within the clock time, like, you'd serve someone a green hot dog. Like, I was not comfortable giving somebody green hot dogs. That's the way they wanted it done. But, All right, guys. I'm going to flip the camera around here. And bid you guys adieu. As far as I know, Saturday, I'm on track for Saturday, so I plan on seeing you guys Saturday. Not exactly sure what I'll be eating yet. If something happens to show up in the mail or something, then I'll probably do whatever might show up in the mail. if nothing shows up in the mail. My plan is for like a Norwegian or which Norwegians are, I'll be honest, like I love the Norwegian meals. I think they're great. I think they're great camping food. They're not good for content. They're super freaking boring. Like the candy bar is the same in every single one of them. You get a main. All the little snacks are basically the same. You got nuts. You got I think the nut cream's in there. Like a pack of peanut. Oh, I said a pack of peanuts. What else is in there? They do like a bread, like a wheat bread. Um, I don't know. It's just they're all pretty much the same. Swap out the main, and like a couple items are interchangeable, but not much variation there. And there's not much to them other than a huge calorie dense main. So I don't know. Norwegians are kind of rough, like to do on a live stream, or even really if you're gonna make a video with one of those, like you need to knock it under like 7 to 10 minutes is really that's it. um, I had something else in mind to do though. I can't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. I'll come up with something. Always do. I want to say a huge thanks to my patrons. Thank you guys for being patrons. I really do appreciate it. And I want to say thanks to each and every one of you folks that have stopped by tonight or will watch this video later, possibly. I appreciate your time being spent watching my videos or hanging out on live stream, talking in the chat. I do appreciate that. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys Saturday in the chat. Or if you got to watch it later, watch it later. Don't forget to comment. Oh, yeah, like or dislike. Either way, just as long as you hit one of those buttons, it helps me out with the Google algorithm crap. And, yeah, I guess really all I got left to do now is say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Later.